I didn't mean to do this. I can pay this.
Okay, so she has in her purse around $300 worth of unpaid merchandise. So just take everything out, okay?
Yeah, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. It's New Year. I know Walmart does that, but I know you do.
How many times have you been? What is
Very
it?
sorry for me.
You're very sorry for you? Okay.
On January 1st, 2025, officers in the Chicago metropolitan area responded to an active shoplifting call at a Target retail location. What the body camera documented was more than a routine arrest. It was a live demonstration of a legal misconception that drives felony charges across Illinois every single day.
When you said it, I thought.
Hello, officer.
Hello.
Sorry.
Hi.
Have a seat, please.
I didn't mean to do this. I can pay this.
Okay, so she has in her purse around $300 worth of unpaid merchandise. So just take everything out, okay?
Yeah, I'll pay for it.
Yeah, take it out.
All right. No, I was gonna give it to somebody. Okay? I'll pay for it. I promise.
Right now it's too late, right? To pay for it? You already tried scanning it?
No, but I can always pay, right, sir?
No, you cannot.
Huh?
You already passed the $20.
But I'll pay for it.
Have a seat, please.
Have a seat. Do you have any ID on you?
No, I don't have.
You don't have any identification?
It's in my car.
It's in your car? Okay. What kind of car do you have?
I'll pay for it.
What kind of car do you have?
Just don't ruin my name.
Huh?
Just don't ruin my name.
Don't ruin your name?
Yeah. I
Okay.
promise. I pay.
You ruined your own name. So I'm gonna need your name. Have a seat. Do you have anything on your person that may hurt anyone, like needles, knives?
No, I don't have anything.
Don't listen. Put everything down. I didn't ask you to do that. Take off that jacket for me. Put it over here. Don't go in your pockets. Listen to my instructions, okay?
Okay.
Stand up. Take that jacket off. Place it right over here. Right over here. Place the jacket over here. Right there. Put your hands up. Turn around. Okay, have a seat. Have a seat.
All right.
Is this your jacket? I'm sorry? Yes?
It's mine too.
Is this yours?
Yeah.
No, that's mine.
It's brand new.
Yeah. Stop lying, man. Why are you lying?
No, bro, I put it over there in the bag. I'll pay for it.
Those are Ray-Bans.
yeah.
Private.
Yeah.
Can I take a picture of you just for our records?
But there always says like you can pay for it.
No, not at Target. Only at Walmart. Not at Target, okay? Target's really serious about theft and all that stuff.
I know, but there's always saying you can pay for it.
At Walmart, not in here. No, you cannot pay for it no more, okay?
What can I resolve it? It's New Year.
So,
Please.
I know. Give me this thing. So, ¿por qué está robando, oiga? ¿Por qué?
No, I'm not. I don't speak Spanish.
You don't speak Spanish? Where are you from?
Philippines.
Philippines? Oh, okay. When did
But
you get
sir,
here?
listen. I can pay for this. I'm
So they-
professional.
So late. I'm professional too, and I gotta do my job.
Sumaya. Sumaya is your middle name?
Yeah, opo.
Huh?
Opo. Yes, sir.
Okay. And your last name is
Yeah. Listen, I know this stuff. I know that when you do that, you can always pay. So
No, you
don't go through it too much. It's New Year.
I don't
I'm
care
very
if it's New
sorry.
Year.
Please.
I don't care.
Please, sir.
No, you're saying $300.
I'll pay for it. I'll pay for
No,
it.
you cannot.
what is your address?
You wrote my
Ma'am,
name.
do me a favor. Don't argue with him.
Okay.
Okay? Everybody has a job to do, right?
Okay.
This is his job, is to catch people who steal, right? If the company has an ordinance that they're not going to let anybody go past a certain amount, then that's his job to continue and follow that ordinance.
Okay.
It's not yours to dictate whether or not he could let you go or now you want to pay for all the shit that you took. Okay?
Can I pay for it? Because I have to give it to somebody tonight, please. It's a birthday. I still have a patient to go. So if I can pay for it, I know.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a nurse.
You're a nurse? A registered nurse? Or
I'm a registered nurse.
registered nurse? Okay. What brings you over here?
No, I have a patient nearby here in North Latrobe. So I go past
On North
this.
Latrobe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't mean to, like what I said, I'll pay for it. It's New Year. I know Walmart does that, but I know you do.
How many times have you been arrested for retail theft? Never? What about theft in general?
It's just first time because I'm rushing.
Okay, let's try this again. How does the name on your license appear? Because you're not coming back with no record. Okay.
We can go to my car,
See
but I
what?
want to pay this because I want to.
Hold on a minute. See what?
Marifi Sumaya
Okay. Is the name Sumaya,
middle name.
is that spelled out in your license?
Sumaya. That's Filipino.
Can you give me a copy of the video and stuff?
Yes, sir. You have a USB?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I can put it in there.
And also, do you have any complaint forms?
Yes, I do.
Are they the new ones?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
For the
Yes. It's the same thing, the same way. You get the number receipt, the same way.
Turn around. Alright, let's go.
I'm not running.
Huh? What is
Very
it?
sorry for me.
You're very sorry for you? Okay.
I'm married to a cop.
You're married to a cop? No, you're not.
I am in New Hampshire. Starting. Look it up.
New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Where's that? In the state of New Hampshire? Oh, okay. So he's not a cop anymore?
No, I used to be U.S. Air Force.
Huh?
I used to be U.S. Air Force.
He used to be reserved?
Yeah. My son too.
Let's examine the constitutional framework. The first question: was the initial detention constitutionally sound? Target loss prevention is a private security function, not a government actor. Under United States versus Jacobson, 466 U.S. 109, 1,984 private party detentions do not implicate the Fourth Amendment. The constitutional bar against unreasonable seizure constrains the government, not private retail security. When officers arrived and assumed custody, probable cause had already been fully established through first-hand observation by loss prevention. A warrantless arrest grounded in those documented facts is constitutionally sound. The Fifth Amendment raises a more significant concern in this case. Miranda v. Arizona, 384 U.S. 436, 1,966 requires that anyone subjected to custodial interrogation be advised of their rights before questioning begins. The officer in this encounter asked the subject about prior arrest history before a formal Miranda warning was administered. Under Berkemer v. McCarty, 468 U. S. 420, 1984, the Miranda obligation attached the moment a reasonable person in the subject's position would not feel free to leave. That threshold was clearly met. Routine booking questions, name, address, date of birth, carry a limited exemption under Pennsylvania versus Muniz, 496 U.S. 582, 1,990. But prior arrest history falls entirely outside that exemption. Questions about criminal background are interrogative in nature, not administrative. They must follow a formal Miranda advisement, not precede it. This procedural misstep is likely insufficient to suppress any statement the subject made, particularly given her volunteered admissions. But it is a textbook illustration of where the Muniz booking exception ends and Miranda protection begins, and defense counsel will note it. Now to the governing statute. Illinois compiled statutes 720 ILCS 5/16-25 defines retail theft as knowingly taking possession of, carrying away, or concealing merchandise from a retail establishment with intent to retain it without full payment. Critically, the statute does not require a successful exit from the store. The offense is complete the moment merchandise is concealed, and the subject passes the final point of sale without payment. Everything after that point is legally irrelevant to the completed offense. Value determines the charge tier. Under $300, a Class A misdemeanor, up to 364 days and a $2,500 fine. At or above $300, a Class 3 felony, 2 to 5 years in prison, and fines up to $25,000, at or above $1,000. A Class 2 felony, carrying 3 to 7 years. This subject was carrying approximately $300 in concealed merchandise, sitting at the precise statutory threshold. The exact retail price of each recovered item will be determinative at the charging stage. A single item priced $1 below threshold changes the classification entirely. The subject's repeated offer to pay after apprehension reflects a widely held but legally unsupported belief that payment at the point of being caught serves as a defense or negates the arrest. It does not. The offense was consummated before police ever made contact. The officer's statement, "It's too late to pay for it. You already tried stealing it," is not a policy preference. It is a precise restatement of 720 ILCS 516-25. Post-apprehension payment cannot void a completed offense, cannot reverse a lawful arrest, and is not recognized as a defense at trial. The subject's invocations of her profession as a registered nurse, the New Year's holiday, a patient, and a birthday are mitigating narratives, not statutory defenses. They belong in a sentencing proceeding, not an arrest refusal. Under 720 ILCS 516-25, F. Concealing merchandise inside clothing. Here, a coat may be treated as an aggravating circumstance, at prosecutorial discretion. That detail is relevant at both the charging and sentencing stages. The responding officer earns a B+. Probable cause was properly established. Officer safety protocol was executed, precisely directing the subject to remove and separately set down her jacket before any pat-down is consistent with standard procedure for subjects who may have concealed items or sharps inside clothing. Verbal de-escalation was sustained and effective throughout a prolonged, repetitive exchange. The pre-Miranda inquiry into prior arrest history is the sole basis for withholding a higher grade. In a clearly established custodial situation, that question should have followed the advisement. The subject earns a C+. She remained seated and did not attempt to flee or escalate physically factors relevant under Illinois v. Wardlow, 2000, which identifies flight from law enforcement as an indicator of consciousness of guilt. Her persistent reliance on the legally invalid payment defense and her refusal to accept the officer's accurate statement of Illinois law prolonged the encounter without legal basis. Her misconception appears genuine, which makes it an educational data point rather than a deliberate tactic. Target loss prevention earns a B. Concealment was observed and documented. The subject was segregated in the LP office before police arrived. Chain of custody for the recovered merchandise was maintained appropriately. The core lesson from this case is unambiguous. Under 720 ILCS 516-25, retail theft in Illinois is complete at the final point of sale. No subsequent offer of payment, no personal circumstance, and no mitigating narrative can reverse a lawfully completed arrest. From a right standpoint, if you are detained and Miranda warnings have not been administered, you have the right to remain silent, including on questions about prior criminal history. Know the distinction between administrative booking questions and substantive interrogation. Cooperation with booking name, address is different from answering questions about your criminal record before you have been advised of your right to counsel. That line matters, and this case is a documented example of why. This has been a legal analysis of the January 1st, 2025.5 Target retail theft arrest in Chicago, Illinois. For more Bodycam accountability content grounded in case law and statutory analysis, subscribe to the channel. All citations and statutes are listed in the description below.